Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So it's been a while since I did a want list for CGC 9.8 comic books. So I ended up getting a list together of 7 9.8s that I don't have, but I want. And but also 2 more that I do have, but I wouldn't mind adding another 9.8 in the last 2 as well. And just for some of the criteria for the want list, like I was just thinking, if, you know, one of these 9.8s kind of popped up in Canada with cheap shipping, I would just have a really hard time just not insta-buying it right away. So that's what I was kind of thinking for the list. A couple of these I'm watching on eBay kind of as well, either like in the 9.8 or the raw. So yeah, a full list of 9.8s to get into here. So let's get right into it. First one on the list. I really want this one. It's a Spawn key that I think is a really good key besides some of the first appearances, which I think are really good keys as well, but it's a Spawn number 174. Yeah, the first appearance of Gunslinger Spawn, origin and first appearance of Gunslinger Spawn in Spawn number 174. So not too many of these out there, and I think the Gunslinger Spawn is definitely the most popular sort of version of Spawn. And getting his first appearance, I think is going to be kind of worth it. And you know, certainly we've spoke about Spawn number 1, even in the newsstand, that big auction that ended over it was like $1,200. A newsstand Spawn number 1 in the 9.8 went for an auction last night. So just trying to think of some alternate Spawn keys that you can get a really good price on that I think have a pretty good future. Spawn number 174 though, only 112 9.8s in the blue label. That's pretty good, yeah, for, you know, first appearance of a really popular version of Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, a 1 of 112 collector item in the perfect 9.8. Quite a few signature series too, being that McFarlane kind of signs quite a bit. But 63.6% is the 9.8 ratio. So not too rare in the 9.8 or anything to really write home about. It is a modern book, you know, I think it's 2008 maybe, I think it was. So on Go Collect, they have the fair market value for Spawn 174 in the 9.8 at $280. But occasionally I saw these sell over $300 as well. Yeah, this is, you know, a well-wanted Spawn key. And there's only 112 out there in the blue label, so it's not like, you know, there's a huge supply of these. So I've saw them go over 300. I think if you can get them near around 275 to 300 right now, a Spawn 174 in the 9.8 white page is looking really good. I think that's a great buy, especially given this Spawn number 1 newsstand 9.8 price of 1,200 and something it was. That auction ending at we'll see if that holds, but I've recommended Spawn number 1 newsstand in the past a lot, but maybe not at 1,200. But Spawn 174 coming in there, an affordable Spawn key. I think it makes a lot of sense right now in the 9.8 for about 275 to 300. So next one on my want list here is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1, the 4th printing we'll talk about here. I'll say really quick, like the 5th printing as well, I like them equally pretty much. The 5th printing, there's only like 20 of them in the 9.8, so this one's kind of more attainable. So yeah, we'll talk about the 4th print here of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. Yeah, it's the 4th printing, and it looks all, you know, totally different than the first 3 printings, but still get those classic pages, classic story on the inside. First Ninja Turtles and Splinter and Shredder. And there's only 49 of these in the 9.8 in the blue label. Yeah, so a great collector item, I think. Especially given that the first 3 prints are just really getting out of hand in the 9.8 grade. I kind of really wish I jumped on a 3rd print Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1 9.8. About a year ago, I saw one for like 1,300 and sort of sucked my thumb for a day or 2, and then it sold. So kind of deserved it not to have it, but. In the 4th print, there's 49 9.8s out there. I'm hunting for this one. 24.7% the 9.8 ratio. Not too bad, but, you know, not too bad for kind of an 80s book, yeah. So prices for this 4th printing of a classic book. Go Collect has the price at $375. Went on eBay. There's one completed listing in the last month here for $420. So I think that's kind of the range, to be honest. If you can get it closer to $375, I think that's a great buy right now. Yeah, we did a video recommending this one maybe 2 months ago, and I think the price was like $300 to $350 at that time. So this one just could be trending up a little bit, and the 9.8 market's pretty hot. So I think $375 to $400 makes a lot of sense for the 4th print. And yeah, like I said, if this popped up in Canada with cheap shipping, I'd have a pretty hard time not just insta-buying it. Yeah, so definitely one I want. Next one on the want list is Star Wars Phantom Menace. The Episode 1 Phantom Menace number 3. So this one's the first full appearance of Darth Maul. One that I've really wanted. It's kind of hard to stay on top of the searches for this one because there's not a lot out there. Like, it's a pretty tough one to find in the 9.8. It's the first full appearance of Darth Maul, though, is kind of why you're getting this one, and the cool Darth Maul cover. I personally like the purple cover. There's the photo cover of Darth Maul where he's kind of in the desert. That's one of the other covers, but in the sort of purple toned close-up of Darth Maul, I really like this one and want that one, and want this one in the CGC 9.8. So there's 13 of that cover in the 9.8s out there in the blue label. So I want to, like, yeah, this one's really tough to find, a 1 of 13. So who knows if I'll ever get this one, but 86.7% the CGC 9.8 ratio. So of all graded copies, 86.7% of them are 9.8s, and there's not a lot of them. It's more just about that 1 of 13 collector item for a first full Darth Maul. Yeah, this is kind of those Star Wars comics that were Dark Horse comics, and you know, this Phantom Menace kind of movie adaptation I don't think was thought to be very popular when they came out in the comic form, so I don't know if people really took good care of this one, and that's why I think in the 9.8 this could be a really good one to have. Prices are kind of showing that too. Yeah, I initially thought you could probably get this one pretty cheap, but I think a couple completed listings, and someone on the team had even purchased one, and I think a good deal is kind of $350 to $400 in this one in the CGC 9.8 blue label. So I know some of them are signed by, I think it's like Ray Park, who played Darth Maul. Those get to be quite expensive, and I just like the blue labels most of the time, and I think in this one a blue label would be absolutely fine. But for $350 to $400, first full appearance of Darth Maul, cool Darth Maul cover, big Darth Maul fans like me, I'm really kind of nostalgic about. I was like growing up during Episode 1 and really liked it when it came out in theaters and stuff. Saw it in theaters like 3 times. Back in the day. So this is one I just want from a nostalgia perspective, but I think it's got potential. There's only 13 9.8s in the blue label for Phantom Menace 3. The cool close-up. There's like, I think it's like 10 or 12 of the other one. So there's just not a lot of these out there in the 9.8, but a cool one, and one that I definitely want, yeah. Okay, next one here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 1. In the 9.8, so I got one here, I got a really rare one. I got lucky on this one, a Canadian edition, signed in the 9.8. Was looking on the census this morning, there's still only 2 of these out there on the planet. So yeah, lucked out with this one, but I do want a blue label version of this, just the normal priced version. This is the Canadian price variant, just the normal price version in the blue label. I just want one in a 9.8 as well. I think it'll go as a good pair, and I really like this issue. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 1. To my knowledge, pretty much the first time the Ninja Turtles have the 4 colored bandanas. And I think I always remembered the Ninja Turtles from that. You know, being kind of young and naive, I didn't even know the Ninja Turtles had red bandanas before. That's something I kind of found out when I was getting back into the hobby and stuff. So I just think this issue is kind of underappreciated. Gaining some appreciation a bit, though, lately, I think. It is a really cool one. There's 146 CGC 9.8s out there. Yeah, it's not very rare in the 9.8. 42.9% of all graded copies are CGC 9.8, so almost half of them are 9.8. So yeah, it's not a really rare one in the 9.8. And yeah, in the 9.8, about 6 to 12 months ago, it used to be like 130, 150 area. In the CGC 9.8, but a completed listing just coming on here last couple of days, I think it was, maybe in the last few weeks, $306 in the CGC 9.8. So, you know, this one's doing well with a lot of like some of these classic CGC 9.8s, but I still think $275 to $300 if you can get one in the blue label 9.8. This one's one to one. Yeah, it's like first appearance of a Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. So you get kind of all those classic Ninja Turtle villains, first appearance. Plus, I think the criminally underrated part of it is the first time the Turtles have all the colors. And I mean, like it or not, most people think of Ninja Turtles with the 4 colors for sure. Yeah, it was kind of cool that they all were red, but definitely I think most people think of them, and I think that's a bit underrated about this issue, but maybe around $300, starting to gain a little bit of appreciation. I still think it's a decent buy. Yeah, $275 to $300 in the CGC 9.8, and I'll be hunting for mine. Yeah, if that popped up in Canada for cheap shipping, I'd have such a hard time not insta-buying it. Okay, next one here is a Detective Comics 561. Yeah, just one of my favorite covers of this era. And I've been hunting for this one for quite a long time, I gotta say. I think, you know, maybe a year or two ago there was one and that popped up and I didn't buy it. It was in an auction or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly. But a really cool Detective Comics cover that I really love of the era. Probably my most favorite one of the era. But it's a really cheap one too. But there's only 14 9.8s out there in the blue label. So that's why it's so hard for me to try to get this one. And I saw completed listings for this book go for like 60 bucks, 70 bucks. Like, it is not that expensive in the 9.8. It's a, you know, a non-key, so you kind of expect that. But for how cool the cover is, I just think it's a great one. 53.8%, the 9.8 ratio. As I said there, I think, you know, I'd probably pay up to 75 to 80 for one, but I've saw completed listings. I think even one under $50 one time, to be honest. Yeah. I think only just hardcore Batman fans that really love this era, that look at every cover like me, pretty much, really kind of know this one, how cool it is. So it's somewhat wanted, but hasn't really exploded over 100 bucks in the 9.8 at all. So yeah, I really want to get this one. And oh yeah, only 14 in the blue label out there, so I'll keep searching. And but yeah, I do want this one. A cool, just underfollowed Batman cover of the era. Yeah, Detective Comics 561. Next one here, speaking of cool covers, Star Wars number 52 I want to focus on. Just a great Darth Vader cover, and I brought out, I really like to just collect a couple of my favorite Darth Vader covers. Yeah, Star Wars 39, kind of Empire Strikes Back Part 1 is one of my favorites. So I was able to grab that one about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. But Star Wars 52, a Walt Simonson cover. Classic. Yeah, I love this one. It's a bit overlooked even too. Yeah, it's you know, I think it's definitely one of the better Darth Vader covers, absolutely, but still kind of overlooked. In the CGC 9.8, there's 63 9.8s out there, so pretty well collected, with you know, there being 63 for like a non-key pretty much. 44.4% the CGC 9.8 ratio. So yeah, I'm into collecting these Darth Vader covers. Star Wars 52 is the one I want to focus on. Another one too, I talked about, it was like on our non-key issue video. It's a Star Wars Annual number 3, a classic Darth Vader cover. Yeah, these are kind of the two I'm zeroing in on that I really love the most. Star Wars 52 and Star Wars Annual number 3. Star Wars 52, I do kind of like the look of it in the newsstand version, so I might be kind of picky and wait for one in the newsstand version possibly. Even the annual 3, I maybe wouldn't be picky if that was in a direct 9.8 white pages. There's not very many of them at all on the census. 52, I do kind of like the look in the newsstand for some reason. I don't know why, but I believe there is one on eBay right now in the 9.8 for $125. It might be like a little bit more than that. I could be wrong on that, but you see these occasionally pop up in the direct edition for like a $125, buy it now, $150 best offer maybe. At that price, I just think it's a really cool Darth Vader cover, and it's kind of worth it, and maybe you can even get it closer to 100. Annual number 3, Star Wars Annual number 3 in the 9.8, a little more expensive. I think that one's over 200 all day in the 9.8. If you get a really good deal, maybe 225. If you want it now, 275 in the 9.8. Yeah, not a lot of those, and that's, yeah, kind of a little bit more collected, I think, and just with and it's a rare item too. Not very many of them out there. I forget, I didn't look at the 9.8s. I think it's under 20. It could be for Star Wars Annual number 3, but just 2 of the Darth Vader covers I want and I'm zeroing in on. So yeah, 52, a kind of more affordable option. Annual number 3, a great Darth Vader collector item. Hopefully under 275 in the 9.8, I would think, for that one. Okay, last one here on the list, and then I got two that I have that I wouldn't mind adding another we'll get into really quick. Last one here, though, I want to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 101, the cover A kind of first print cover. It's a Sophie Campbell kind of team Ninja Turtle cover that I just really love the look of. Like, that's pretty much why I want it. This book does have the first appearance of Lita in Mona Lisa, and Lita's like the new kid Ninja Turtle. So, it's got that, you know, a big first appearance and a cover that I love. This one's kind of weird, though, because right now there's only 3 CGC 9.8s out there. Yeah, so you know, and more are going to come online graded, I'm almost positive. I actually had someone on the team message me on Instagram and say that they got a bunch of these in the raw, and they had saw the video I did about the retailer incentive version of this one. That's really cool to collect. But I would also really like to just get the first print cover. And I think the team member, I kind of mentioned that he's sending a bunch of this cover into CGC to get graded. So who knows? Yeah, I'm sure more 9.8s will come online. Only 3 right now. So this is one to kind of be patient on, but one to look out for as more get graded. Yeah, there's only 4 graded, so 75% of them are CGC 9.8s, 3 out of 4. And a price for this one, I didn't see any completed listings, but I think if you can get like the retailer incentive ones, the one that kind of everyone wants, and that's getting quite expensive. I think that one auction went for like $350 or something. But this one, I think hopefully you can get it for like $100 or $125 or something like that. And that's the kind of prices I'll be aiming for on. Yeah, I love the cover though. You get that Lita first appearance, which has some potential, and I like these modern Ninja Turtle issues. I got a bunch of first Jenica issues, and when she becomes the Ninja Turtle, I got some of those too. So kind of fits with my collection. All right, 2 that I do have, and I want another 9.8. Really quickly, Wolverine number 8 in the CGC 9.8. I got one of these. But for me, this is one of the classic, like, blue chip 80s covers. And I think for the price, it's a really good one for the price. And I think it's really nostalgic for a lot of people. I think it'll become really collected over time more so. So I got one in the 9.8, would really like to add another of Wolverine number 8. Yeah, classic Wolverine, the Hulk cover, can't go wrong. Next one I would really want to add another one is Amazing Spider-Man number 316 in the CGC 9.8. I have 2 of them. I have a nice raw copy as well, but I think just doing that McFarlane video, it kind of clicked in that this is a really collectible book, and it's a really classic Venom book that's still affordable, although it is increasing in price pretty fast. And I could just imagine this one being so well collected because it's so cool. So I got 2 in the 9.8. I would like to have maybe even 1 or 2 before they really, I could just kind of see this one getting like $700-800 over time. So, you know, if I can get one now around $400, $450 maybe in the CGC 9.8, another 1 or 2, I think it's just one to stockpile. Yeah, and this is, I'm so nostalgic for this Venom cover, and I loved it since I was a kid, big McFarlane fan, clearly. So, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 316, one that kind of sticks out now that I wouldn't mind grabbing maybe 1 or 2 more in the CGC 9.8. Just love having them too. Great pride of ownership from those ones, I think. I would invite you, if you haven't already, to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Hit the bell for all the latest notifications. Add me on Instagram and Twitter as well. Yeah, fun to do a want list every now and then. And just, yeah, I think it's a good idea to kind of get some books out there that I don't have, because yeah, certainly I like to kind of buy when the team's buying rather than, you know, always like, you know, buying a little bit before sometimes, or just making insta buys before doing a video or something like that, which sometimes I do occasionally. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I like to share the want list and just give you an idea where my headspace is at for what I want to buy in the 9.8. Thanks a lot for watching, though. Hope you got some ideas. Really appreciate all the support, and message me on Instagram if you had any questions about anything it might be. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.